Christian Novels Audiobooks, The Story of Wayne and Jean Vozzolo, The Cross Penny, Episode number 45. At first light, Risa hitched up the lighter tow sled behind the drilling sled. Then they started the bumpy trek to water well number 3, well site, with Risa's Calibu towing both sleds. The villagers were very surprised to see just Mark and not the whole team when the Calibu pulled up next to the other well supplies Risa delivered a few days ago. Risa called everyone together and explained. With a promise of clean drinking water, all of the men and older boys volunteered to help use this strange equipment. They knew their water supply was making so many people sick. Mark went through the dog-eared drilling manual and got everything organized. Risa translated when needed. This small community had no school and was too far away from other communities for the children to travel back and forth. Many of the villagers had never been to school and had never learned English. The work went slow without a trained team. Mistakes had to be fixed. Mark knew this process would be the same at the remaining well sites, and it was. Weeks later, when water well number 5 was finally finished, Mark found himself on a 10-hour bus ride alone and headed back to the airport. His drab green duffel bag was stuffed with Tony's tool belt, his well-worn change of clothes, and a small sliver of his prized homemade soap. The half of a comb now had more teeth missing than teeth remaining in it. The limb long ago discarded, as well as the totally worn-out once white T-shirt, were missing. So was the torn yellow slicker. It had been 4 days since Mark said goodbye to Risa. After walking a long way to catch the bus, which broke down and quickly turned the 10-hour bus ride into 15 or 16 hours, Mark finally made his way to the Philippine airport. The smell wafting from the food court prompted his mumbling out loud to no one in particular, "I am so hungry, but at least I'm not puking and running to the non-existent bathrooms." It was nice of Risa to offer me some food for the trip, but I sure don't regret saying I can't keep it cold, and I would rather be hungry than sick. I still remember the 3 days of food poisoning caused by food that had spoiled from not being refrigerated. And it didn't even taste bad or smell bad. Yep, being hungry is bad, but way better than being as sick as a dog. Mark's airplane tickets were open-ended and easy enough to turn into boarding passes at each airport once they found someone who spoke English. It seemed like every segment of the long journey back to Southern California was one delay after another. One flight left late, causing him to miss the connecting flight. That was repeated a couple of times. He slept on the floor, washed up in the men's room but had no deodorant, washed whatever shirt he was wearing with his sliver of soap, and laid it over a chair to dry at night while he tried to sleep. When he flew during a mealtime, he was able to eat whatever was served. When he didn't fly during a meal, he ate the small snack of cookies or a tiny bag of peanuts and drank a soda the waitress served on the plane. Yesterday had been one of those snack-only flights. Today his flight was too late for breakfast and too early for lunch. After deplaning, Mark walked through the food court on his way to catch his last flight, which was standby. Man, I wished I could buy anything to eat. He stopped and pulled out his wallet and counted his money. Well, it's still $13, like it was going to magically grow since the last time I looked. Better not spend any. I've got to have every penny for the bus ticket from the airport out to the boonies. Why did Mama stay so far out from the city? As he put his wallet back in his pocket, he watched a teenager throw a perfectly good hamburger into the trash and shout at his mother, "I told you I didn't want any cheese. You ruined it. Now order the right one this time." I would have eaten that hamburger with or without cheese. I can't believe his mother's letting him get away with that. Mama would never let me talk to her that way, and I would have just gone hungry throwing it away. Mark realized he had said what he was thinking out loud when a passing traveler chimed in with, "Me too." Mark quickly found the terminal and the gate for his flight, only to hear the gate agent telling, "I'm sorry, but this flight looks like it's going to be full. If someone doesn't show up to board, I can get you on. If not, I will change your standby to a confirmed seat. But the next plane doesn't leave until 9:37 in the morning at this gate. although that might change.